July 29th, 2013. Down the mountain. A cow woke me up just as the sun was rising. She bumped me with her nose and wandered away. Children with sleepy eyes were coming out of the yurts to herd the animals toward uneaten pastures. Thin clouds in the sky glowed with warm colors. The grandmother invited John, Anna, and I into the yurt for breakfast. The inside was warm and homey. Colorful rugs covered the ground, and vibrant details were painted onto the yurt's wooden frame. A little boy slept on the floor beneath strips of meat drying on the wall. Small blocks of homemade cheese, the size of butter sticks, hung from lines of strings that crossed the ceiling. In the middle of the yurt sat a small stove heating a steaming black cauldron. A box of cow dung sat on the floor, and I watched the grandmother use her bare hands to move a few chips of feces into the stove, then go straight on to picking up biscuits and cheese and placing them on a plate for us to eat. I picked up a biscuit and tried to think of the last time I washed my own hands. We were also served fresh yogurt that was quite good, and from the cauldron we were given a cup of clear liquid. The drink was distilled from horse milk and tasted slightly alcoholic. The flavor was mild, like coconut water with a splash of vodka. After breakfast, I said goodbye to Anna and John. They were heading to the far eastern edges of Russia, where the road will eventually end, and then they'll turn around. We left together, but they were quickly out of sight, and I was alone again. I crossed another wide valley, and at the pass on the far side, I came to a large cairn, or uvu, as the marker is called in Mongolia. The base was a 10-meter wide pile of boulders, as large as a man could lift, and their collective bulk supported a 10-foot tall wooden pole sticking straight out of the middle. The pole was draped and wrapped with wide silken ribbons, the color of deep blue sky. I've seen a couple of these uvus, and I'm struck by how beautifully they fit into their surroundings. I believe they look so natural because, unlike a built object, they grow organically. Their seeds germinate on mountaintops and high passes, and very slowly, across centuries even, they become larger and more ornate. By gathering material up to a short walk away, the uvus grow from the stone where they live. Their form is achieved without guidance, helped along by many hands over many generations. Each uvu is a little different, and they are all magnificent. Frequently, drivers will stop at an uvu to take a break. All the passengers get out to walk a slow circle around the stone shrine, a ritual to bring safe travels. I haven't taken up the practice myself. I need to believe that my luck is innate, because I will still be going when the uvus are far behind me. I rolled over the pass into a 3,000-foot descent that deposited me onto a wide, flat expanse. At the bottom of the hill, I spent a few minutes with 4 high school-age boys waiting for their friends at the intersection. Pavement started there, so we tried chatting while I took the time to pump up my tires. I learned that they were going into the mountains for a camping trip, but we struggled to communicate much more than that. They had a bottle of juice in a single cup that was filled for each of us, then passed around. The first guy drank the cup of juice, then threw the last few drops into the air. I thought he was performing some custom such that after I finished the cup he poured me, I also threw the last few drops into the air and added the exclamation, "Mongolia," as a toast to the country. The 4 of them looked at me bemused, but said nothing. I handed the cup back, feeling a little embarrassed. After the next guy finished, he did nothing with the last few drops, and neither did the other 2 guys. I think they were worried for me. Before I left, they gave me bread and a can of fish. Across the wide open land, I could see the weather starting to take a turn. As the first drops fell, I stopped to take shelter under a bridge. The storm would not actually hit me for another 45 minutes, but I knew the bridge would be the only cover for miles around. A local couple on a motorcycle joined me as the rain started coming down hard. The hills to the south turned white from hail, and the stream, which was nearly dry when I arrived, swelled as a shallow flash flood swept across the sandy land. I sat with the couple as we waited for the rain to pass. This evening, the road began to run parallel to a row of high-voltage power line towers, each with 4 legs perfectly spaced to hang my hammock. The sky was filled with lingering gray clouds, and the flash flood was on my mind. I wasn't keen to sleep on the ground and biked over to the tower. I considered the deadly amount of electricity running through the high voltage lines above me, then hung my hammock. The electricity up there shouldn't affect me down here. I feel good being back in my hammock. From where I'm lying, I can see 60 miles to a solitary stripe of rainbow shining over the mountains like a beacon.